Hello, dear viewer and listener, and people not listening, and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland. We are occasionally an Arsenal podcast, but tonight it's not about football. We are joined by Andy and Mike, Mike and Andy, Mandy, whichever way you want to call them, to talk about their wonderful charity, Gooners v Cancer. And they've taken out the S because us in the UK, we don't call it Vs, it's just V. So, Andy, the $10 million man, how you doing?
Wouldn't it be minus 10 million?
Oh, you don't know what you're going to get back?
He's been spending a lot lately.
A minus to a plus is only one keystroke away.
I woke up today, Danny, in a minus $10 million dollar frenzy, but I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Have you been buying French Farmers League players in your sleep again? Because for 10 million, you get quite a few of them.
I haven't. But Mike, what have you been spending?
I don't know. I thought we were buying Charlton Athletic, and I thought we had agreed that it was going to be split between the two of us. So your half came out. That's all I could say.
There must be a whole list of clubs you could buy for the 10 million quid that Andy has actually accidentally been charged. But you can save that for your own podcast because it is a very funny story. So we're here just to talk about the Gooners v Cancer charity that you've been doing. How many years you've been doing it now?
This is the fourth. It's the fourth year that we've been doing it, but it's really the third that we've kind of involved the podcast and started to try to take it global, as it were. And you're right, we did take the S out, but we didn't take the S out completely. We still put in the S. I know that doesn't sound that good, but there's an S. You can go to Gooners versus Cancer. You can go to Gooners v Cancer. We cater to the person who can type in anything into a computer and it will take them to our website.
That's the kind of podcast we are if you haven't listened before.
Yes, we're here for you. We don't want you to have to type in the S.
Yeah, we actually took that out because it's an extra stroke. And we all know that if we can get it finished without that extra stroke.
Well, yeah, we don't want people stroking in the S.
Don't need that at all. So do you keep a track of how much money you've made each year, and are you making more and more each year? Because that's all I care about is the bottom line when I'm talking about things like this.
Yeah, well, here's the trajectory. Basically, let's say three summers ago, 2018, we did about $5,000. That one was very late in the summer. Most of the $5,000, frankly, came from friends and family. But we had a couple of large donations that were as a result of some raffle prizes that had been donated by the likes of Amy Lawrence and Alan Smith. And so we kind of were learning our way through that. Last year, Arsenal came to the States for a summer tour. Andy and Mike's media tour is what they called it. We had a lot of in-person fundraising in 4 different cities, and it just worked out great. And we raised $16,000, which I think is around maybe 12,000 quid in that ballpark. And this year with COVID and all the other good charities that are in need and very reasonable to give to, I almost didn't even. Andy and I were like, this year might just be a good year to take it off.
Hard to ask people this year.
It is, and we recognize that. But late in the game, we kind of decided, you know what, we have some support. We've got people who are willing to help us. Let's just try to do it online, and we'll set this crazy goal of matching last year at 16,000. As of today, with 3 weeks left in it, we are at about 14,000, almost at 14,000. So I think we're gonna smash it this year, and it's in no small part, I should say, to people like yourself and to our other podcast friends and members of the media and social media and all that who have given us so much great publicity.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, but you're worrying about whether you should do it or not. COVID's going to go away. Leukemia isn't going to go away, is it?
Right.
So,
yeah,
the hope is someday, but not anytime soon. And I think what's helped is just the tremendous amount of people who are willing to donate and give for this. And I think that, we'll get to the prizes a little bit later, but just, people who've listened to our podcast from day one, who've become our friends, have said, I'll donate a kit with the name on the back. And I think there are people in the world now, specifically with COVID, who look at that and go, you know what, then I'll throw 20 pounds or $20 towards a raffle ticket because it's highly likely that I get a great gift out of it. The Arsene Wenger signed autobiography is going to be huge. So, yeah, it's been tough. But, if you would have told me when we started this we'd get over $10,000, I would have thought there's no chance. So
Not
the
this year.
fact that we're close to matching what we were at is just huge, and a huge thank you to everyone who's donated so far, and for those who are about to donate, because it affects our lives very closely, and it's just something that we're super, super passionate about.
But the only thing that can get us to act seriously is this.
And
we'll be done with
honestly,
that soon, trust me.
Well, and I think it was Danny when we first started a pod. We were like early in the game. Danny reached out to us, which was a like beacon of like, hey, let me help guide you along. And the one thing he said to us, and I've said it a lot, like if you start doing a podcast for money, you change the way you podcast. And we've seen that with a lot of people. So Mike and I have always said, any monetization of this, the money is going to go to one thing, and it's Gooners versus Cancer. And so we enjoy doing this as a hobby. It's fun for us. We don't anything that we make from it, we're just going to throw right back into the charity, and that'll be the first earnings that the charity sees. Because for us, this is just we make dick jokes most of the time, and this is the one thing, like Mike just said, that gets us being serious for a couple podcast episodes, and then we go back to having some fun. So
yeah, and
without I guess when I'm backhanding comment or giving Danny a comment or a positive comment, because without that advice, we'd be at strip clubs right now.
You'd be at home, and Mike would be texting you from a strip club.
That's true, because I can't afford to get an Uber right now because my bank account has minus $10 million in it.
And he's not joking about that. Go and listen to their next podcast, and then they'll explain it.
And check our Twitter account, because I'm sure relatively soon there will have been a picture of his bank account balance posted, which is it's not pretty right now. And of course, I am loosely responsible for this somehow, but
only slightly.
Yeah, only slightly. So you mentioned, Andy, as we try to take this to 40 minutes without Danny saying a word. You mentioned one of our friends and early listeners to our podcast donating a jersey. Mike Hernandez donated a jersey, basically the same as donating the equivalent of about 75 to 80 pounds, $110. Mm-hmm. That kit has raised over $1,000 in donations of $20 here, $5 there, from a number of different people hoping to win that kit, and somebody will. So
what was it?
Your choice of a new Arsenal kit. Any of the 3 kits personalized with the name of your player, as a choice.
You don't get a number though. You don't get a number. You just get
extra. You get the player name and a picture of the player, not their number. So it'll just have like big Kieran Tierney face on the back of it. But yeah. So we've received that. We have a very good friend of ours, Owen Young from Northern Ireland, who, the day he found out about Gooners versus Cancer, instead of just writing or clicking on it and donating 20 quid or something like that, he went out and organized and executed a charity football tournament in Newry, Northern Ireland, where people paid to enter. They donated on the day. They had some local businesses that donated. He put this all together without barely any assistance from me or even anything I had to get involved in, and it brought almost £1,000 in one lump sum to the charity last week, over almost $1,200. That's the kind of thing that just really, it's heartwarming, because it's not just that people are willing to give, it's that people are willing to go through and take on effort, because it can take a lot of time and effort to run this thing, to do all the little things that are involved with it that Andy and I are doing. And when somebody takes it upon themselves to be kind of an affiliate of that, it's amazing, and we've actually worked out special prizes for people who are able to do that on a large scale. So,
I just came up with an idea, Mike.
Okay, does it involve nudity on my end?
No, but it involves. So, we donate a kit, right? But then people can bid on. So someone wins the kit, right? So Danny wins the kit. But now
people bid on what it says on it.
Now there's a separate bidding. Now people £1, $1, and there's groups of names, right? So you get like your Aubameyang, but then it's Mustafi. There's Guendouzi in there, so it's like a really good player with really shitty players next to it, and then people bid on each group whose name should go into the next phase, and it's like a Champions League tournament to a final. And then hopefully there's two real
everybody
players.
just pays to keep this thing moving forward. We haven't
exactly, and then by the end,
that part out of it yet. But
yeah. By the end,
you end up with Mavila on the back of your kit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or Danny.
Well, no, you wouldn't want any of that nonsense. Yeah, tell them about the was it not franchising? That's not the right idea, the right word, is it? You just said it about if people.
Affiliates.
That's it. Tell people about that, look, because that's you spent some time working that out, and that's a really good way of incentivizing people, isn't it?
You'd think it is. It's slow to catch on at the moment, and I believe that is probably because most people, when thinking in terms of of their own fundraising event, that is really negatively impacted by COVID. So the goal here was to try to branch out, incentivize people who have influence, whether it's a podcaster, whether it's a YouTuber, full-time YouTuber living in some foreign country, whether it's someone who leads a Facebook group that has 20,000 people part of it, supporters groups like the supporter group in London, or any of the variety of different supporters groups around the world and around the US. The point of it is, if you take it upon yourself to really do the promotion, marketing, gathering people together, encouraging them to donate, and with their donation they just name the affiliate. If you had everybody that was listening to this podcast, Danny, donate £5 or something like that, and put ABW on their donation, we total all those up together, and at the end of the fundraising, which is about 15th of October, the top 3 affiliates who have a total of in the total donations will be guaranteed to win one of 3 signed kits, either Alan Smith or Lee Dixon, or probably Perry Groves as a third, just as a prize. And then, of course, with that, you could do whatever you want. You can keep it for yourself if you organized it. You can, like, if you have a supporters group in London or in Belarus or whatever the case is, you can take that kit and do an auction of your own members of it to raise even more money for a local charity of your own, or for for yourself. That's really up to you. And any affiliate who raises at least $750, which is about £575, is guaranteed to get a new kit, a new Arsenal kit of their choice. So we really wanted to, try to help incentivize people to use their own influences to raise money, because that's really how you get to the next level, not just 1 or 2 people sending out notices and DMs and tweets every 5 minutes about it, which can get annoying. We want to put more power into the hands of people who who might like the cause, want to contribute to the cause beyond just their own credit card donation, which we realize is tough at this point. 500 people donating 10 or 15 quid is a lot easier in some cases than one person making a huge donation. So we try to encourage that. Hint, hint, ABW. You can get in the game that way.
Well, I had an idea. I've been thinking, what could ABW as a podcast do to help? We have because the average listening time for this kind of podcast is going to be 15 minutes. We've got 1.5 minutes for me to explain this. I said, if you go to the ABW website at bergkampwonderland.co.uk and then go to the donation thing, you can only accept PayPal. Then you can send us money via PayPal. And I thought, if ever anybody wants to enter this, it's 10 quid. All the money will go to Gooners versus Cancer, and then anybody who enters it, just put Gooners versus Cancer in your PayPal donation. Only 10 quid, no more. Well, a lot more if you want, but minimum of 10 quid. And then all the people that do it, we're going to pick 3 of them randomly. Each person can pick 1 person from ABW, and then all 6 of them will do a podcast. So 3 winners. And then you pick 3 people, like maybe 1 will pick me, 1 will pick Chris, 1 will pick Jeff Arsenal. Then all 6 of us will do a podcast for about half an hour, put it out as a proper podcast, no more than half an hour, because if you've never done a podcast before, you're going to struggle to talk for more than 5 minutes. And then even if we only raise 100 quid for you, and I was thinking earlier that's it's a simple thing to do. You don't need a credit card or any of that lot. Just go and do the PayPal donation to us. And then, we'll give you all the money. And it'll be an interesting way to, we never know, we might find someone who's decent at talking football. And then we can get rid of Chris and Josh, because they're both awful, terrible human beings.
They don't know how to talk for less than 15 minutes at a time. So
yeah, just don't. If you do win, and then you want to pick Chris as your person, do know that you ain't going to get to speak at all, because there's no way Chris is going to finish any more than 1 question in under half an hour. So the worst things you could do would be to pick Chris, and who else never shuts up? I don't know. I can't think of the rest of them. In fact, it's just so bad. Huh?
Ola.
Ola. Oh, poor old. He doesn't live far from me. Yeah, so that's a good idea. You never know. Might get 10 people doing it. Might get more than 10 people doing it.
You know what? It's a great idea. And this is what I love seeing. I mean, I didn't have to tell Owen to do a football tournament. He came up with the idea, and I love it. Other people are doing score prediction contests, other types of fundraisers. You know, it's all going to a good place. There's tons of incentives because when I ask people for something to do us a favor, which is, you know, this is a huge favor. I like to have something coming the other way, whether it's the ability to have a chance to win something, whether it's a guaranteed something. Like if you're a branch or an affiliate or a podcast that raises over $750, you're going to get something of value. And, you know, you can then use that for your own advantage as well, or charity or whatever you want to use it for. So, you know, I know that people would donate even without incentives, but we just like it to be kind of a game or a fun experience or something that people have a chance to win something. And I think that's helped it catch on quite a bit around the world.
Because you can donate, because I don't want to win anything, but I was going to go and give you some money. So I don't want any prize to be in for the draw. So you can still do that, can't you?
Well, none of the signed kits will fit you anyway. So
I was going to win 2 and staple them together.
you get Lee Nixon and Alan Smith and just rip it down the middle and then put it
pieces. Yeah. So if people want to donate, they can donate without having to get tickets. They can just give you the money and then you'll never contact them again.
Well, frankly, if you donate money and you don't select a ticket, all of your tickets that you get will go into a first team signed jersey, first team signed kit that Arsenal has donated to us. So, you know, even if you don't pick something, you might win a pretty cool prize, even with relatively small odds because there's a ton of tickets in that one. But you will be entered even if you don't pick your prizes. But yeah, we're right at about 13,500 right now. And we've got currently, I think 10 prizes, and we're about to add an 11th if Arsenal comes through with it. So do we want to go through what the prizes are?
Yeah, so explain about in case people, because this will go out on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. Explain to people how many tickets they get per donation. It's up on the screen now, but they can't see it.
We wanted to incentivize people to, you know, donate as much as they can. Obviously, you know, anything is great. So you get more tickets, the more money that you donate. $5, and it'll process in dollars. But if you live in the UK or anywhere else in the world, it'll convert. You know, you're using your credit card, so it'll convert to your local currency. $5 gets you 1 raffle ticket. $25 gets you 7 raffle tickets. $30 gets you 10. $50 gets you 20. $100 gets you 50 tickets. And if you're generous enough, as many have been, to donate 250, you'll get 150 tickets. So, you know, it is kind of like bulk pricing, and then you can spread those tickets around to any or all or just one of the prizes that are on offer. So,
oh yeah, it says there, for example, because it says here, you when completing the donation, make sure you enter into your message section of they have a little section saying your message section, and breakdown of how many tickets you want to place in the pot for each prize that you wish to bid on. For example, prize A, 25 tickets, prize B, 25 tickets, prize C, 100 tickets. So that's if you had bought 150 tickets, you can spread it over 3 individual prizes or chuck them all in to win 1 prize.
This fits my customary personality trait of making things a lot more complicated than they need to be. It isn't as complicated as it sounds, though. And if you forget to pick tickets, you will be getting an email from us basically saying, "Hey, do us a favor, go back and select your tickets." So you don't have to worry about that.
Right, so are all the prizes listed in order of how good they are, or are they in what order they came in?
Given what the last prize is, I don't know that you could really say that. It's just it's just a kind of a random order that I put them in.
Right. So you'll have to read through each and every one and then pick your favourite ones. So are they all listed item? Yep. So it's item A, the Emirates Stadium self-guided tour pass. What's that?
This is basically, if you've ever been on an Emirates Stadium tour before, the tour passes normally cost, I believe, 25 or 30 pounds. You get an Arsenal lanyard and an audio recording that takes you through the stadium, takes you through the the back, the back rooms, the media area, the dressing room, the home and away, and you do it at your own speed. And so Arsenal has donated to us 4 of those passes, and that's item A. That's obviously one of the lower level as far as the value and the uniqueness of it. But if you're planning on taking a tour of the Emirates, this is a way of getting tour passes for a lot less than they would normally cost you. And
so far, your website updates of how many tickets have been put into that, haven't you? So this says 105 tickets sold so far.
Yeah, and on average, a ticket, just based on the different pricing levels, on average, a ticket's about $2.30. So
with this one, you've roughly got a 1 in 105 chance to win. Well, exactly 105, but I doubt very much that's 105 different people, is it? Some people have put a load in, so it may be as low as 1 in 40 or 1 in 50. So that's pretty good. Should we move on to Andy? Item B, that is the Perry Groves experience.
This one's a great one,
but it's not a podcast, is it?
No, so you get 4 Emirates Legend Tour tickets with Perry Groves. And so he'll take you around. He'll give you the whole, cheeky reach around. But the best part is at the end, he's going to take you to the pub and buy you some drinks. So the evening will get extended to the pub, and you get drinks with Perry Groves, and you get to spend a couple hours with him one-on-one. And if you're not familiar with Perry Groves, if you're a newer supporter, if you know who he is, we've had the pleasure of having him on the pod, and he is a riot. He is a lot of fun. He's got great stories. He's just a Gooner through and through. Yeah.
Our when I was there in March, right before we had to scurry home to avoid getting stuck in London, which I would have been fine with, we did a guided tour with Perry Groves. And the stories he tells on the tour in front of a group standing inside Arsenal property were hilarious, irreverent, funny. Imagine what he's going to talk to you about when he's outside of the Emirates and has a few beers in him. So I think other than Ray Parler, maybe he might be the Arsenal player I'd most want to drink with.
Go and read his book, though.
Yeah, I forgot to mention you get a £40 credit to the Armory gift shop for your choice of a retro Arsenal shirt or kit. Mike,
and he'll sign it.
This isn't a private tour, right? You're just part of his larger tour, and then after you get the 4 of you and him get to go out for drinks privately.
Correct.
That's what I gathered. Right, the next one, Mike. Item C, an Arsenal 88-89 retro kit signed by the legend number 2, Lee Dixon. This one's quite popular. 606 tickets for this so far. And, the Gooners podcast and Lee Dixon together. And is this another one where you add him on and like with Alan Smith, it's like you've cornered the poor man, poking him until they give you something. At times, you do feel like calling the RSPCA and telling them that you lot have cornered another footballer and you're not letting them go until they give up something. Was that the way it was with Lee?
We do it off air though, because in case they say no, we don't want. I mean, Andy can tell you just yesterday with Stuart Robson. The second we went off air, I was asking him favors, but that's how I am.
I've just finished listening to your last podcast of the Stuart Robson one, and I like the way that you integrated illegal video from YouTube into the show, and then showed him running out as when he was 12 years old and had hair. But I love Stuart Robson. Maybe we'll try and tap him up in 6 months' time because he'll need to lay down after talking to you Muppets for a while. But that was a really good show. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
And these ticket totals on the website right now need to be updated. I mean, we've definitely had a lot more come in, and it's the people are donating pretty evenly across the prizes as well, which makes it fantastic because each one of them is raising a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. Andy, the next one, item D, the 89T, and if you're in the UK, that's T-shirt because we use the rest of the word because we're not lazy scumbags. So, who did you corner to get that from?
Yeah, no, this was actually great because Stephen Feely designed these shirts at feestees.me, and I think he just kind of opened up, and I don't know if Mike asked him for him. He's a friend of Mike's, and the T-shirt relives the classic 89 kind of lead up to the goal, and it's in you can't really see the graphic on the screen because the picture's small, but the T-shirt it says 89 in yellow and blue and red, and it's got that the graphic is basically the commentary, and this T-shirt is wanted by almost every member of that 89 squad who was playing in the game who has seen the T-shirt has asked for one. And Mike, I think you've distributed.
Well, this is the story behind how I came upon these shirts to auction. I mean, I've met Steven before. He's an expat Gooner who's been living in New Orleans for a while. He has a T-shirt shop online. Arsenal related stuff is at afc.feestees.me, not .com. But I found out about these T-shirts. Somehow I think
Mike, I'm going to have to say that in English. It's afc.feestees.me. That's for the people out there that don't speak American. Go on.
Yes, and when I saw that T-shirt design, I said I've got to have one of these, and then I think I forwarded and looped in Amy Lawrence and Alan Smith into the conversation, and they said I've got to have one of these. So when I went over in March, he sent me about 6 or 7 shirts to distribute to Amy, to Lee Dixon, to Kevin Campbell, to Alan Smith, and I had arranged all of this going ahead. And the day I was supposed to meet Amy for lunch was the day I had to come home.
The circles you move in now.
I know.
Yeah. That's Josh Kroenke now that
he just drop.
Yep, I drop a lot of stuff, names among them, but yeah, I had to come home that day. So I actually still had the shirts, and instead of sending them back to Steven, I said, you know what? We can get those to raise money for the charity. I'll keep them and I'll raffle them off, and yeah, people are interested in them. I will give you a clue. If you're a men's size medium, you've got a very good chance of winning, and if you're a women's size medium, you've got a very good chance of winning, because those just by pure size of Gooners, those have very little tickets on them. So if you know someone that's in those sizes, you've got a really good chance of winning if you donate throw a few raffle tickets on those.
So there are 2 men's XL, 3 men's large, 1 men's medium, and 1 women's medium available. So there is a total of 7 T-shirts available there. Andy, the next one, it is the item E, the Arsenal 88-89 retro kit, same as the Lee Dixon one, but it's signed by Alan Smith. Donated by, again, your good selves and Smudger. Is there anything worth saying about that, or should we move on?
No, just Alan's great. Every year he gives, and I think last year he donated some signed personalized books. And anytime we reach out to him, he is more than happy to donate. So we,
really lucky to have him. And those shirts, by the way, will be signed with a personal message. So, for example, when you win, I'll ask you what you want Alan to sign, and within reason, he'll sign a personalized message. This is not just a shirt with his autograph on it. It's a shirt with a message and an autograph from him on it. So,
Danny, did you know he dropped an exclusive on our podcast when he was on last week?
I did listen to it, but I don't remember what it was.
He told the world that he wouldn't be in FIFA 21. That was the first time it ever gotten announced.
He's not in it.
No.
Why?
No. I don't know. We didn't ask. It felt awkward.
I think they canceled the contract by mutual consent, I believe. So
but are they going to get to do it now?
They went in a different direction. They went to Jan Mavila.
Yep. Oh, I heard he's signing soon.
Yes.
Something to look forward to for Christmas. Right, the next one is I'll let you do this one, Andy, because I let Mike breathe for a second. Item F.
Yeah, no.
2 amazing Arsenal game tickets for the game of your choice. Are there any stipulations here? Like if we get to the Champions League final, you can't have that. Apart from
it's for obviously I think when we go back into being allowed into the stadium, but no, it's donated by Jack Truth AFC, Jack Stevenson. 2 tickets in block 32. Your choice of game, pending availability. So, I don't think he's going to allow you to just say like, hey, I want Tuesday's match. I think you're going to have to book out. But Mike, I believe you've sat in these seats and they're quality, right?
I've sat in there twice, and it's just insanity. And there's a picture on the website that I took from those seats. I personally took that picture when we were playing against Liverpool in the 1-1 draw a couple seasons ago. That was probably one of the best games we played that season. The seats are amazing. You can reach out literally with your left hand and touch the players' tunnel, and you're right behind the visiting team's bench. So, I mean, if if you're looking to watch a game from an amazing view that you hadn't necessarily had before, I've generally sat in clock end upper or a couple times in the North Bank lower, which is a great atmosphere. But from a seating standpoint, this is just outstanding. And Jack has these tickets, has been generous enough to donate. We had a winner, Mark from Green Bay last year, who was planning on using his tickets for the final game of the season. And of course that didn't happen because of COVID. So he's got tickets to still use, and the winner here will be able to use them. The amount of money that we've raised for these tickets ensures that as long as they are available from Jack and far enough in advance, you can use for any game you'd like. It could be United, it could be Chelsea. Because we've raised already from those tickets well over $1,000. It can be any ticket that is a league game. It doesn't just have to be Category C or Category B. So
that's very good, because a lot of other places, when you see that someone is giving away tickets, it's only ever going to be against Wigan in the League Cup, and so you're not doing that.
No.
Very good, right?
Not with the amount of money we've raised. You get to pick your game.
That's for two people. Each game of your choice, right? Which one, Andy? You do this one. Item G.
We talked about this. It's a personalized kit with your choice of player name on the back, donated by our good friend Mike Hernandez, who's been one of the first listeners to our podcast. We had the pleasure of meeting him last summer in Denver, and just a stand-up guy. So you'll get the choice of the home, away, or third kit for this season. Like we said, it's completely personalized, so you can get anything on the back, and then we'll get that shipped over to you.
You can get our names on the back if you want. We're not here to judge.
No. We should say that Mike has a new podcast, and it's called Not Another Arsenal Podcast, and they've got a new episode out today, actually.
And they credit, as we do in our podcasting careers, a considerable amount of help from you, the Arsenal podcast Santa Claus.
Well, I did charge them $10,000 for an hour's work, and all I did is shout at them not to use the Wi-Fi, and then I cut them off and called them scumbags.
Well, so they got it for $10,000. It cost us $10 million.
Well, there you go. Right, Mike. Next one. First team signed home shirt. This is donated by Arsenal photographer and another man you've cornered into coming on to your pod, Stuart McFarland.
Yes. McFarlane. We got him on the podcast because we didn't put the D at the end like everyone else does.
Do they? Yeah. Did I do a faux pas?
It sounded to me like you said McFarland, and
I didn't. I said McFarlane.
Okay. Well, that isn't how I heard it. But
good job this isn't recorded, because then you could go back and find out I'm lying.
Yes. Let's leave that for later. I think the truth will out.
The mystery.
So yes, this is a shirt that from last season that was signed by all of the first team of the FA Cup winning squad of 2021 of 1920, and this is one of the prizes. Yes, exactly, and so this is signed by the entire first team. This has gotten a lot of focus already, and a number of additional tickets since that was last updated. It's probably over 1,000 tickets now. And it's a great prize. This is obviously one not to wear, but to frame and to hang in your man or woman cave or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's a great prize that we're very thankful for Arsenal to donate.
You can see it there. I've got it on the screen. If you want to see
those
this,
aren't signatures. That's grease stains from when I tried to fix my car. But
you scumbag. Yeah, if you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, go to YouTube, subscribe, give it a like, and tell your family, and go and have a look at the pictures, because I'm all thumbs and fingers here. Well, that's actually the correct way. I'm all fingers and thumbs. That's not even right either. So just go and have a look. Stop being lazy. Go on YouTube. Get it done. You can see a picture of all these things that I'm bringing up one by one. Right now, I'm going to bring it up your website again. It's there. Right, Andy, next one. It's Mr. Wenger. It's a signed book.
Yeah, he is donating a hard copy biography of my life and lessons in red and white. It is going to be personally signed to you by Arsene himself. The prize will be shipped in November, because the book doesn't come out until then. But yeah, I mean, this is your chance to get something personalized by the man, the myth, the legend. And you know what? He said for 20 years, I can't wait to write a book. Everything better be in there.
Yeah, We want to hear why he's not responsible. No, I'm just kidding. This is something, again, to drop Amy Lawrence's name. She arranged this. She has contacts with Wenger's people and the book publishers, and she was able to get us one signed copy. She did want to make sure that we said this, unlike the jerseys unlike the kits from Smith and from Dixon, this will just be, best wishes, Arsene Wenger. It's not going to be,
that's a shame.
Hey, Danny Sweetman, we love your support over the years. Why do you make your daughter bring you food during podcasts? Love, Arsene Wenger. So it won't be something like that. He's not going to write a second book inside his first book just for you.
I'd like it to say #Wenger out, or we don't need Gareth Bale. We've got Gail Clichy. And he wouldn't do either of those, would he?
Can you imagine? I mean, this is awful to say, but can you imagine if he put Wenger out like as his signature on the book? So yes, this one was just added to the list a week ago, and in 4 or 5 days, there's already been $1,000 raised for this book. To say that it's got a lot of interest would be mild. And if you donated and you're listening to this before that book went on, and you want to get that book, just email the podcast or email admin@goonersvcancer.com. And it's not too late to switch around your stuff, because we don't want to penalize people who donated early by not allowing them to win a prize that they want. And the same goes for this one, although this is
no one's going to want this.
I would beg to differ.
There's a few lunatics.
Yeah, but there's an appeal to many people for a 2018-19 home kit signed by Mesut Ozil. This is already signed, so again, it won't be a personal message, but this was donated by the Los Angeles Gooners. I think when Mesut came out to LA last summer or the year before, he provided a few of these kits to the Los Angeles Gooners so that they could raise funds through charity, and one of them was held back to help us out, and that was really appreciated by the great people in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Gooners. And it's in mint condition, signed by Mesut Ozil. It's all legit, and so that is item J and the most recently added item. There's one more we're working on, so I don't want to say anything about it. And there's one other unique thing that I'm very close to being able to talk about. But let's just say there's a merchandise, there's a piece of clothing that may be sold soon by someone that you know well, Danny.
Is he Chopsy?
And it's going to be available with all profits going to Gooners versus Cancer. So stay tuned. I'm sorry?
A Lee Gunner t-shirt?
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, we're just ripping off. We ripped off his logo and we're making it into Gunner versus Cancer.
Yes.
So no, it'll be announced soon. I don't want to jump the gun by announcing it, but it's been in the works, and it's something that most people who listen to this podcast would be aware of. This online shop, let's say, that's going to be marketing that. So stay tuned.
Good. And you have recently extended the end of it, haven't you? Because of one thing and another going on in the world, give people a little bit more time to go and try and win stuff.
I've extended it just like I've extended my belt.
That's room service for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to cover in this?
It's a $10 million diet he's on. So
I told you I'd have it back in there by Monday. I just needed a short-term float of interest rates, and
I tried to Venmo request
arbitrage.
I tried Venmo requesting you the $10 million amount, but it only let me get to 10,000.
I'm surprised you didn't just go ahead with that anyway.
I should have done it 100 times.
That might have worked. Then again, it might not have worked. So if people want to listen to any more information about this going on, leading up to when it ends, where can they find you, two scallywags?
Well, we're on YouTube. You can find our channel at goonersubscribe.com. It's another one of the website domains that we own. We have about 1 million of them, but goonersubscribe.com, or of course you could just search for the Gooners podcast on YouTube as well.
What happens if you put the Gooners podcast into Google?
Into Google? I hope it comes up with our podcast rather than a picture of. But it depends. I was just watching The Social Dilemma last night on Netflix, and what comes up on Google depends on who you are and where you live. But yeah, it's all about us.
Just says, do not listen to these guys.
Yeah,
it's the Pornhub version of our pod. I want it to be to where you just put Gooners in or Arsenal in Google and our podcast comes up. We're still working on that.
Who do we have to pay for that, Danny?
You need to pay our Josh. He's a wizard. He does fuck all to help our podcast, but that's what he does. He rigs Google trend searches. I think that's what he does. Maybe he's moved on. I don't know. He's a mysterious man. That's why he's grown a mustache.
If you search Google for Gooners, I don't know if this is just me, but I've got the number 8. The number 8 result is the Gooners podcast webpage.
Oh, you are looking.
Which is still GoonersInUSA.com. We never got rid of that, but
you need to go and use a VPN. And we're not sponsored by any VPN, so they can all fuck off. But if you go and search Bergkamp, then I think we are the top 3, possibly. I don't know. There again, we've been pumping out shit for years now. We're 700 shows. I don't know why people keep listening, and they're not going to learn anything. What wonderful guests have you had? Yeah. What wonderful guests have you had recently that people could go back to your YouTube and have a look at, or ones that you've got coming up soon?
Andy, you want to cover our season 5, or do you forget about the show as soon as it's over? And
I blank out during the shows. No, we've had Charles Watts on recently. We've had Simon Collins. We've had Smudge himself, Alan Smith. We had Stuart Robson.
We had this Welsh bloke on who we love and is very entertaining as well. He knows Gareth Bale. He knows Aaron Ramsey, and he knows sheep.
Yeah, no, we've had let's see, Gab Marcotti. I'm actually just going through our. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've only had a handful of episodes this year. We've had some big guests on.
Yeah, we're back.
I drop it right now.
We're back.
Who are you harassing to try and get on next? So they don't really want to, but and they know you're not going to take no for an answer.
You will probably see, and this is not a joke. This is the 3rd time now that I'm mentioning her, but Amy Lawrence is due to join us next week. Yes. We're just working on the timing of it.
Top quality guest, one of the best.
And, we've been talking to. I mean, may not be like complete and total Gooner, but we've been talking to Ian Dark. We've been talking to Adrian Clark. I mean, a couple of people that are likely to join us in the coming weeks. So, we're no more Lee Judges. I mean, we've grown out of that.
Of that,
he's too good for the likes of you.
No, we're above that guest. We had him on towards the end of last season, and it was probably our lowest rated show, both in viewership and.
Well, we have better bald people to have on the show now, as of yesterday with Stuart.
That right there is true as well.
I mean, he was filling a quota for a while of bald people on our show, and that's why he came on as regularly as he did. Now it's Stuart Robson, and and in a pinch we can have you, but
if things get desperate, just give me a call. Right, give out the website address one more time. I only do one of them because you've got about 50 domains by the sound of it. Just give out your top 5 website addresses that will get you to your charity.
cheekymonkey.com and goonersvcancer.com. That will get you there.
Guys, now I got to go to cheekymonkey.com and see what happens.
I have a feeling. I just made that up. I have a feeling it's not going to be pretty. It's got a picture of Danny in the
past. An open domain.
Oh, there you go.
Hey-o.
Well, that's now don't, because he'll buy it, and that money you spend buying it, you could go and buy yourself some tickets and get yourself a couple of shirts and sew them together and wear them with gay abandon. That'd be wonderful. Right. Anything else we need to mention before I turn this shit off?
Just that you're fantastic, and we owe any success that we have had, any moderate success we've had in the podcasting world, to you, basically, over a joke about Chuba Abcom and some comments you made in October of 2016. So that will never be forgotten, and we love you always.
And you're not having my back.
You can be our number 1 bald guy.
Quickly, before we turn it off, did we sign Party yet? Does anyone know if that's happening?
I think we sold him and loaned him out to a League One side, like we usually loan out decent players to.
Charlton, perhaps?
Oh, did they go down again, or are they in the Championship? I'm never sure. Or did they not get? Oh,
no, they went down, and but they're headed back up now on a rocket.
Oh,
Mike keeps referring to that because my colleague, and I'm actually going to call him my friend, just purchased them. Like today, they officially went through.
Oh, they got rid of the was it Danish, Norwegian, Swedish?
Well, the new owner's Danish, but it was like
Scumbag.
South Hall, and then some other guy owned them, and Thomas just purchased them. So it's been in the works for a couple months, and I'm glad that he finally got them.
Did he use $10 million to buy them?
Yes, that's what I told him. That was his half, and
I actually do know the amount that he wire transferred to the EFL, and it was a lot more than 10 million because we were at
fucking Charlton. You can have West Ham for that.
But because and this is just public knowledge, but like when you're buying a club that's in that type of scenario where they're close to administration, like you have to put enough funds in to cover the entire 2021 season. And so he had to put in what they, cover. And I'm talking like you have to cover ticket sales, revenue, TV,
that'd be zero.
Into a bank account just in case shit hits the fan, right? And so it was a pretty large number, but I'm really happy for the man because he's a good person. He's made his money the right way by helping people. And so the one thing he did want to, he will partner with us on this charity when my plan for this next year is to make it more global. Gooners, cut that word out and put football in there, right? And we're going to try and partner with a lot of people to try and get this, one day, Mike, it'll be 100,000 that we've raised.
We have visions of grandeur, and we're going to make them happen. So we're going to get to the Champions League of charities.
Well,
we are.
What a wonderful way to end a podcast. I'm just turning off my hand warmer. Right. Thank you very much, Mike, and your lovely wife, Andy, for joining us tonight. It's been nothing but moist and emotional, and good luck to the pair of you cheeky monkeys.
Thank you, Danny.
We will be back. When will we be back? I don't know. We'll be back when we're back. Who knows? We're so badly organised. I say I, because I'm the one who organises stuff, which means stuff doesn't get organised. Right. Thank you very much, you two, and we will see you later. Goodbye.
Come on, you Gooners.